I really feel called to speak about plants or certain plants just because I have such a beautiful connection with the plant world and nature in general. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people are craving and missing at the same time. First of all, it's hard to get the right information. Second of all, it's difficult to also understand all the different layers, how we as humans can connect with plants and what beautiful wisdom lies in there. Because I think sometimes we get so lost in thinking that we can explain everything through our mind and through the intellect and through books that we forget there is a whole world of wisdom out there that has nothing to do with books. Nothing. That is like not even able to write it down into books because it's understood in the moment and every single moment changes. Every moment is influenced by the moment before. So if we don't know what the moment before was, we don't know how where it's going. So through that, you can imagine that like a path that you're taking, you have left and right, and maybe you're creating even a middle path that doesn't actually exist. So when you start stepping onto this, the path starts being created behind you, in front of you. It's not yet visible, but behind you, a path of you exists. So when you started walking, that path wasn't there, but then it starts existing while you're doing it. So every moment depends on the moment before. So this knowledge, and it's so beautiful. And I think we are all going to tap and step more into it. And I can definitely see with a lot of people around me, our soul is calling for this. Our deepest desire and longing is for this. It is this innate wisdom that lies in every cell of my being because eventually we are all connected. We are connected with everything around us. If you start looking into the whole quantum physics and how atoms are, we're made up of atoms. So atoms makes up everything. Um, so basically, it's actually ridiculous to think that it's not connected. I don't even know how to explain to someone. I think it's more difficult to explain to someone that we're not connected than actually understanding that everything is connected. So for me, it's like I explain it a lot with frequencies. Frequencies is vibrations, but frequencies is also an invisible wave that is everywhere. So my words are creating a frequency, are creating waves, are creating a vibration. And we learn to understand those words and make meaning from it. But eventually, it's just a vibration and waves. So, what if I start learning to understand the waves that are coming my way from different things that you think might not be able to speak, like the plant world or the nature? What if I learn to translate that and understand that? And actually, I have to say, it doesn't always come in words. For me, a lot of it comes in understanding in my body. My body just knows. I just know, or it feels right. So, some books that I have read say that we understand nature through our heart, and I agree, but I think it's actually beyond that. I can go and understand plants and nature through my whole being, through everything that I am. And this is from the tips of my toes to the top of my head, and actually also including our hair. Like you can imagine that we have like a field around us, like to have our physical body, and then we have like energetical bodies around us. And through all of that, there is like layers and layers of like antennas or roots that can go and connect. And these roots are not visible. These roots are not even a form. It's just words that we're giving. But doesn't even follow a structure. It just connects to the waves and to the frequency and to the vibrations around us. So we can choose to tap into anything we want to. We just need to learn. The first thing there is to learn and understand that this is a possibility. The first thing to learn is to trust yourself that you can do this. So you got to start with the trust piece. This is a massive one. Believing, trusting, and learning how to do it. And I think once these three steps are in place, it just starts unfolding itself, right? And then the trust is still something that you need to keep on going because also for me, like the trust is sometimes a difficult one, especially when I have like days where I'm tired or days where I'm struggling or everything feels super heavy. How do you trust then? And it's like a choice. It's often a choice. It's a feeling, yes, but it's also a choice. It's like, okay, today I don't feel it, but I still choose to trust. Yeah. So anyway, we gotta learn this language. We gotta trust and open up our being towards that is possible. So the first step is to start believing that it's possible, believing that there is this waves, this connection. You can call it whatever you want to. This is how I explain it. Um, yeah. Actually, take a moment and close your eyes and maybe start feeling that this knowledge is landing in your body, even though you don't fully understand what I've just been saying. Maybe you completely agree and understand it, but just feel the realization landing. Because what I have been doing is I have created frequencies while I spoke about that. I was tapping into certain things, and this is knowledge that was supposed to land with you right now because you felt called to watch this video, you felt called to come into the space. So you were ready to hear that for whatever reason. I don't need to know that. You yourself know that. So just start feeling that landing. And how does that feel? That to believe that this is true, that this is possible. Doesn't it make the human existence even more exciting? Knowing that there is so many more possibilities that your being maybe has always known, but finally you get to see that yes, it is possible. So some people call this magic, some people call it physics, some people quantum physics especially, some people call it whatever you want to call it, but for me this is just language. The world is actually much, much bigger in our existence than language allows. We have developed and put certain words to different topics and subjects and experiences, but it's simply words. If you're taking that apart, what do words even mean? Can one single word really explain everything? Look at that. I have a stone here. So, okay, we know that this is a stone, right? We've learned all that that's a stone. But what is a stone? Like if I say the word stone, it doesn't entail all the information that is in here. It doesn't entail all the material, the chemistry, the setup, the story this stone has also. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Like, no, that's actually a stone. Anyway, but do you know what I mean? Word and language, or our language, is actually way too simplistic. So for me, frequencies is like more. It's like this dropping away from our mind into our body, into our heart, wherever that is. Into the body is actually also including the mind, but we try and understand a lot of it. It feels like sometimes that's here, and it dropping into like into the back of the brain and like into the part of the brain that has this innate trust, wisdom, relaxation, and it's like woof into everything else and just starting to actually interact with your surrounding through this. This is really beautiful. But I went a bit off topic here. But apparently that was really important to speak about. So there is this possibility, and I believe every single one of us has this possibility and has this ability actually. We're all capable to do that. We just need to believe that we're able to do that. So it's like this ability that we can tap into the knowledge of a plant simply through opening our being towards it. And sometimes this works better with certain plants than with others. I actually allow the plant to choose me, or I choose it, but they come into my field and I feel this symbiotic, beautiful, beautiful co-creation that wants to happen, right? So it's like I don't forcefully choose a plant, but which one wants to come into my field. And from there, it's like closing my eyes and feeling into it. And it's like, what is the message this plant wants to speak through me? So for myself, but also for others around me, right? It's a lot about that. Um, and this can also change. Like I've also worked closely with certain plants, and I've noticed that the message starts changing, and also the message for myself, because maybe I need to learn something, and this plant is there to support me, and then I need to learn something else. So the message there can change, or it can also just be the same and be the same over a certain period of time. So let's tap in and see what messages want to land with the three plants I actually just have here, because I was just guiding a beautiful meditation. So I have the plants here and I feel very connected with it. And the first plant that really wants to be speak is cacao. I have it here. And I will close my eyes to do that just because it's a little bit easier sometimes to tune in. So what I feel with Cacao today especially is like her desire to create a nest for us, like a nest in the earth, where she's just like, hey, little children, just come back to me, come and lie down. You are so exhausted, and I can see it. You've been doing so much, you've been hustling so much. What if I take care of you for a bit? Come lie down, take a slumber, and I will take care of you. I will put a soft blanket on top of you. I will play this vibrations, this really, really soothing, deep, deep, deep earth, like sound, so you can just rest. And while you rest, your whole system will be recalibrated. Your body will receive healing that is beyond the healing that you can just get through hustling. It's like this healing that it's like this shaking. There is actually these things, these machines where we can stand on that shake. And I don't actually know what they're doing, but it feels a little bit like that. It would just shake and we rely on that, and it's just like this feeling. And we will receive like this deep, deep sleep that I think most of us are craving for, but we often don't drop into because we're doing so much during the day and then we don't drop into. And through this sleep and this rest, there is this thing of like being reborn in our body, being reborn into feeling and the connection inside of our body. And through this, it's like this calm, soft interaction we get to do with our surroundings, and we get to inspire others. Others will see that and they're like, wow, what's going on? I want to feel like that. I want to be so soft. They see the changes that are happening in people that are connecting with it. And it starts creating this ripple effect of these beautiful, beautiful beings that are so connected to the earth, so connected to their body. They're one with the frequency of the earth. And through that, they are in endless cycles of like energy cycles. Energy is just flowing. It's like you can imagine it's going through your feet into the earth and then up and again. And it's like, whoo, this continuous, continuous, continuous cycle. And it's always like bringing you down and calming your nervous system down and bringing you down. Like even the voice is dropping. And it's this. And it really feels soft in the body. It feels like the body is not even, doesn't even have to follow the structure of the bones anymore. It just becomes the soft movement, this soft swaying, this soft everything. That feels like it's the message from cacao. I don't have anything else. So take a moment to just feel how did that land for you, knowing that this is the frequency Cacao wanted to speak of today. That's her desire, what she wants to bring humanity. And I think in that sense, it's also super interesting how we can see how Cacao is being used by humanity at the moment. We are actually, and I'm not saying that I'm much better. I eat daily chocolate. And chocolate is not cacao, right? Chocolate is like has refined, no, it has sugar in it, other things, and it's like machine pressed, so it doesn't really have the plant spirit in it anymore. So how are we as a whole society really like abusing this plant so much? Is because we actually crave that, what she wants to give us, but we don't know another way to do it. So we're like becoming addicted to it. And because it doesn't actually hold the proper frequency, because like I said, it's machine made, it has sugar in it, da 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 da, we start becoming addicted to it because we feel like we need more and more and more and more and more to finally get there, but we never get there through this. And then in other spaces where cacao is being used, it's a lot about activating us, which I think is so beautiful. But now that you heard that cacao desires to bring us down and to bring us into our body, I'm also wondering, because we are a society that already does so much, do we really need more activation, or do we actually need more calmness and quietness and calming down and softening down? And I'm like leaving you with this by yourself, and you can think for yourself and you can feel what is true, because I don't need to tell you what is true. It's just what wanted to be spoken today. And I can feel Rose also wants to share something. I have no idea what she wants to share today. We will just feel into that for a moment. So I invite you as well just to close your eyes if you want to, and feel your own connection to the plant rose. She actually doesn't want to speak too much. She's more like, just see me as a gift. I can be so supportive. I can enhance your life and create so much more beauty in your life. And I know you're craving for it. So just connect with me. I'm here. I'm here to support. I'm here to serve humanity and bring you back into like this beautiful state of existence, connected to this frequency of love that is just all around us, always there, that you innately already know, and we often crave for it, but it's there, it's all around us. So I will help and support you in finding that in the simple moments. I'm here to help you find it in just being doing nothing, like in the just the sheer existence, making you see that it's always there. Yeah, so I invite you, if you feel really called to that, to start finding rose that is like good sourced organic rose that really has to have frequency in the smell, not doesn't need to be the plant itself, like the flowers, because often they are a bit I don't know the word, overbred bird. Um, anyway, so can you find some organic rose tea and drink rose tea? And also, like I said, if you are living near where I'm living or you're in Europe, I do sell spagyrics from rose, so it's the highest frequency you can connect with a plant. So just contact me if you have further questions, and if you're like, I want a high quality product, and I can support you in finding that. Because I think that's really important that we, I guess, as you heard before with the cacao, it's really important that we connect with a high quality part of the plant, because otherwise we don't really get the frequency and we don't really get the information, and it will be diffused. And we don't want that. So I've talked a lot about frequencies and vibrations. So if we have a plant that has been squashed by machines, that has been overbred, that humans didn't treat right, the message is also diffused and squashed. It actually becomes like a clone. And nothing against cloning, but it becomes like a hologram of the original plant. So it's pretending to be the original plant, but it has nothing to do with it. So we think we're connecting with it, but we're not. And I think humanity has actually taken advantage of that quite a lot, of making us believe that we are connecting with the plant. Our body gets the nutrients from certain plants, which is not true anymore. It's a hologram, it's not the truth. And I didn't even know that before I spoke about that. So I will need to think. And I think that's why personally, I think it's so important to actually eat organic, locally sourced food. And even maybe I think in the near future, we have to go into biodynamic food as well, because I think organic is starting to become, what is it called? Mainstream. So factories start creating organic, and I think it's going to be artificial organic as well. It's not going to be true. So the frequency and the DNA of the plant is going to change. So we think we eat corn, but we don't actually eat corn. Our body doesn't know what to do. And then we're like confused why so many of us have like stomach pain or digestive or our skin flares up. It's because we're eating something artificial. Like imagine that. Our body doesn't know how to handle that. It doesn't. Like in evolution, there is so much time that is needed for our gut system to everything to adjust to certain things. So suddenly we'll have all this shit in our life that is like coming in. Our body doesn't know how to handle it. Our being doesn't know, and we get sick. And then it's like, yeah. Yeah, and then we think it's like this simple thing, but no, it's artificial. What we often eat is artificial. So yeah, that was a big piece that needed to be spoken, and I will have to also feel a little bit more into that and the truth of that. But I mean, the truth, I felt it. And I think if you're listening to that and you're really tuning into your body, not your mind, then you also will know that the truth has been spoken. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. It's just a little bit of an introduction, just a little bit of information. Feel free to ask your questions in the comments, your takeaways, what you learned, and everything else. And I wish you a beautiful day.